When a global crisis happens like a pandemic, a war, or a major economic shock, lots of people start saying the same thing, that I feel broke. What is strange is that some of them haven't actually lost income. Their rent didn't change and their bills are basically the same. So why does it feel like money suddenly got tighter? The answer is that money isn't only about numbers. It is also about how safe the future feels. In normal times, people spend money because they quietly assume tomorrow will be similar to today. You'll keep your job, prices will stay the same, and emergencies will be manageable. But during a crisis, that sense of normal tomorrow breaks. Even if your bank account stays the same, your brain starts acting like life is risky. And when life feels risky, you naturally want to hold on to resources. That is when people start spending money and feel guilty for spending on anything that is not essential. Now, one of the biggest reasons people feel broke during a crisis is uncertainty. Uncertainty is stressful because it makes it harder to plan. Now, economic researchers have created ways to measure how uncertain the economy feels, and they found that uncertainty spikes during major world events. This also affects how people and businesses make decisions. When your brain can't predict what's coming next, it tries to protect you by thinking about possible dangers, like what if I get laid off? Or what if someone in my family needs help? Even if none of those things happen, simply imagining them can make you feel like you're already behind. It's like your mind starts adding fake bills to your life, costs that are not real yet, but they feel real because you might have to pay them someday. This is why someone can have the same income and still feel broke. Their brain is not only looking for today's budget, it's also trying to prepare for tomorrow's worst case scenario. Another reason is something psychologists call the scarcity mindset. Scarcity doesn't always mean that I don't have money. It can also mean that I don't feel like I have enough. In their research about this, they explain that when people feel scarcity, their attention narrows. They focus on immediate problems and trade-offs and have less mental space for long-term thinking. Now, during a crisis, scarcity can spread even to people who are financially okay, because the environment constantly signals risk. You start thinking that I should save every possible dollar just in case. The problem is that just in case has no limit. If the future feels dangerous, no amount of saving feels like enough. That is why small purchases suddenly feel heavier than they used to be. A coffee, a subscription, or going out with friends might not actually hurt your budget, but in scarcity mode, it feels like you are leaking resources you might need later. This is also why crises often cause people to freeze. They delay purchases, put off life decisions, and become extra careful because their brain treats flexibility as survival. Wars and crises also make the world feel more negative than it really is because bad news has more power in our minds than good news. Psychologists have found that negative events often affect us more strongly than positive events. This is sometimes summarized as bad is strong than good. Think about it, one scary headline can stick in your mind all day, while 10 good news fade quickly. And during a global crisis like we have right now with Iran, news feeds are packed with dramatic stories, warnings, arguments, and worst-case predictions. Even if your personal finance are stable, your brain keeps receiving signals that things are falling apart. On top of that, social media makes comparison stronger. People post about panic buying, cutting costs, moving money, and taking second jobs. Seeing other people act scared can make you feel like you should be scared too. Because our brains are built to learn from the group. If the group behaves like danger is close, your nervous system treats danger as close. And this can create a loop. You see a threat signal, you feel anxious, and you spend less, and spending less makes you feel poorer, and this puts you in scarcity mindset. In the end, the reason people feel broke during a global crisis is that money is connected to confidence about the future and not just today's number. When the future feels unclear, your brain shifts into protection mode, and protection mode feels like scarcity. The good news is that you can lower that broke feeling by giving your brain more structure and clarity. First, separate facts from fears. Write down what is true, income, rent, and savings, and what is only possible. Second, choose a clear safety goal, like building a small emergency fund, because a specific target feels more manageable than a vague fear. Third, limit constant doom scrolling. Our brains can't calm down if it's being fed threat all day. Finally, make a crisis budget that still includes a little comfort, because cutting everything can make you feel trapped and actually increase your stress. Research on intolerance of uncertainty shows that uncertainty can drive worry and anxiety across many different emotional problems. When you reduce uncertainty by planning, setting boundaries, and focusing on what you can control, you often feel better even before your finances change. A crisis might not change your paycheck, but it changes your brain's sense of safety. And when safety returns, the I feel broke feeling usually fades.